right, Tommy. Hey, how you been, man?
I've been very good. How you been? It's been
Dude,
too long.
I've been awesome, man. I've been living life. But dude, you've been doing such cool things in scootering recently. You got me so hyped when I saw you in the most recent This is Scootering World team. That was so cool.
Uh, Thank you so much, man. That contest was insane, dude. Like, did you watch the other ones too? Like Europe, USA, and Australia.
Dude, I
Man,
just watched the
everyone
Europe
killed
one.
it.
I just watched the Europe one yesterday, and that
I
might be
just
the best
watched it
scooter
like half
video.
an hour ago too.
Dude, that might be the best scooter video ever made. I
Legit. Like, what's his name? Irish motion movie. I forgot his like actual name, but masterpiece, bro.
No, yeah,
Like,
he
killed
really killed it on so many disciplines in that video. I feel like he managed to make the transitions and the energy and everything just work so well in that video. And it was so cool to watch a scooter video that was extremely hard street riding, extremely hard park riding, and mega ramp. Like just to see all the disciplines get done like that, it was a really beautiful piece of work.
yeah, man, they like had everything, with diversity and like how it's just like in little sections too. It wasn't like mix and match, like which I believe Australia did that, and like I wasn't really a fan of that, but like it was still like it put together was really good. But I liked it preferred where it was sections, and it just made it like the transition to one part to another was just beautiful, and I loved it.
They really sectioned off, I feel like, each medium of scooter riding, and I feel like they had a song catered to what that was. I feel like
Yeah,
they had
exactly.
like their own little bull section, and they're almost like at the beginning it was like their fails section. It was like really intense, and it was really great. What did you think about the USA team?
Can't believe like they lost half of the. Well, I don't know how much they got of the footage, but it's just really sad to hear that they had to restart at day 16. But man, after that they really killed. Like I really enjoyed their video, like editing wise, riding wise too, of course. But yeah, it just sucked that all the footage got lost. So
Yeah, so
yeah,
um
but they still killed it
so
from
fun
what they had.
absolutely. Funny story about that footage being lost. I mean, I guess not very funny story. It's really unfortunate that they lost all of that, but they was actually in Arizona when the news got received, and I happened to be with Chris and Cody Flom right before they were supposed to meet with them, and when the news dropped, and that was a really really tense time and a tense moment. I could see, and like when I finally saw the boys that were filming for it, like Nick and uh, Devin and Austin, when I saw all of them, they were in a just a I feel like a weird spot. They were obviously very discouraged. But like the cool thing was there was so much like hope amongst them still. Like it was almost like in a weird way they were unfazed by it. Like they were just so ready to keep getting after it. And I think it was really cool to watch them come back and actually I feel like get second place. Like because they were able to essentially restart at day 16 and still put together a very very good scootering piece, which I feel like, could you imagine if we saw all the clips that they didn't film?
I know, right? Like, I reckon it would have been close with USA and Europe. Like,
yeah.
they came second. Like, think about it. They only had like day 16 to day 30, and they came second. So definitely a big contender for sure.
What'd you think about Australia's video?
I loved it. Yeah, it was really good. I wish I got to see more of like the park side of it, like Angus, Max, Luke Berlin. I mean, like, from my perspective, it looked like it was a 1 day like filming wise for Luke, and then with Angus, Angus absolutely killed it. With
Mm-hmm.
the 360 whip front bar whip bar, like the full combo. I was like, what? Like, how's that possible? Yeah, they killed it, dude. Overall, man, my like favorite was just watching Reece Jones ride again. Like, well, not
Yeah.
ride again, but like recent footage of him. It's like
Mm-hmm.
incredible.
I wish I wish that we would have seen some clips of the boys at like our Willie's house.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? Like, there was like one mega clip or two of it was just Angus. It was like What was it? I can't really remember.
He did like
what
capron,
do you
whip
do?
front scoot, whip, right? Or something. He did like
yeah. It was a double overhead. Yeah, yeah.
it was a
But yeah,
double
that was
front
it. They
overhead.
only had a mega wrench clip, and I was like, oh, that sucks.
I wonder.
But it is what it is.
I'm curious. I feel like we live in a kind of funny world with like resi and wood and like
Yeah.
what counts, and I'm curious if like the Australian guys didn't even consider going to our Willie's house because they don't want to put necessarily resi clips in their video, but when they go to Rich's house, it was like they put all of their like I don't know. I feel like there should have been maybe more communication about that because I feel like if the Australian guys knew, they probably would have taken full advantage of that. Maybe I'm wrong though.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Well, with Richard's place, he actually doesn't have a resi on it because he only has it on the landing bit. But
Yeah.
with his landing bag, you can actually ride on it. Same as Ryan's one, you can actually ride on it. But with Ryan's one, he prefers the resi on it because it's just more forgiving. No,
Yeah.
not forgiving. Is that the right word for it? Like it's just more smoother. And from what I got told, I believe that yeah, as you said, I think because it was a resi, they didn't want to put it on. I've been told that that's the whole reason why they didn't go film at our Willy Land because of the resi, but I don't know if that's 100% true or not.
We may never
Yeah.
know. All in all,
Yeah.
though, I think all four videos were really great. I feel like they were
Sensational. Like, shout out to Jared for putting up like the video together, the team together, like the best captain. Thank you, Jared. Shout out to him. He absolutely killed it with the whole organizing it. And with business, with organizing the event, Surreal, KK, big shout out to them for hosting this amazing event. Like, it truly showed how amazing Scootering is. I loved it.
absolutely. It was such a great venue for park and street scootering. That's why I feel like come together on a grand scale. You know what I mean? And I feel like that has never really been done before.
Yeah.
So it was really awesome to watch.
Oh, definitely not. Yeah, it was good to have not just street, but like park, bowl, mega. Yeah, it was sick.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
So I have an interesting question for you.
What's up?
Why did you choose to be in the world team versus the Australian team? Just because when I think of you as Tommy Dang, I'm like, he's an Australian. Like, so why did you choose to go on the world team?
So Jared hit me up in the DMs, and he said he was putting together a world team, and I thought that was strange too because like I'm technically considered as an Australian,
Aren't you an Australian citizen?
Yeah. So I was just thinking, okay, there's already going to be a Team Australia, but in the dissonance, they put me under as Team Japan, which was like I thought it was funny. I was like, hell yeah, I'm going to rep Japan. But I couldn't refuse such an amazing opportunity. Like Jared hit me up, and I was like, at the time I was helping out building Volopark, well, painting Volopark.
Yeah.
This was when was this? It was mid-April. Yeah, it was mid-April. So during the phase where Volopark was just about to be finished. And he hit me up, and I was like, yeah, I'm more than happy to. The skatepark is about to be finished. I can get some exclusive clips here. And then, there's just went from there.
That's awesome. I feel like it was cool to watch your clips. I feel like you have such a unique bag of tricks that I don't really ever see get what you like to do. I never really see get highlighted aside from you doing it. And it's so refreshing to watch your clips. I feel like your discipline is tweaking your body. You almost dance in the air just with your combinations of turn downs and inverts. It's really it's very unique, and I think it's sick.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I mean that's the beauty about creativity, just trying to see what's possible. And with that, I just make it work and just see if it looks cool, or if I like it and if it's fun, then that's the way it is.
Oh yeah. So you said, I saw most of your clips were at Volopark. Tell me about that. Tell me about like Volopark. Just because here in Arizona, I that's all the way on the other side of the world. I don't hear the inside scoop of what's going on with that place. I know Matty Chiravalo owns it and runs it. But tell me about your involvement with that park, and tell me about like what you think that park is going to do for the Australian scooter scene.
So speaking of Volopark, I'm actually at Volopark. This
really?
Is just the office.
Okay.
Yeah, the sun is about to peak out. It's currently 7 or 8 a.m. here, and the sun is about to come out. So Volopark, yeah. So as you know, guys know, Matty Chiravalo is the owner of this place. As you've seen on Instagram and social media, the ramps are actually Empire ramps. He bought out the business and then moved it to Camp.
Empire was formerly known as Bunker, right?
Bunker, yep. So that was the original name, and then they turned it to Empire. They had new owners. They were based in Mordialloc, which is like the east side of Melbourne.
Okay.
So now it's actually based in north side of Melbourne, the skate park in Campbellfield.
Got you. Okay.
And yeah, it's like, I mean, when I found out, it was like when Maddie revealed it on Instagram, I was like, wow, this is intense. Like, I can't wait to be back home and help out. So I got home. When did I get home? Mid-April. Yeah, that's when I came home. April, because I quarantined in Sydney for 2 weeks. Arrived here and then straight away just helped out, trying to finish off the remaining part of Volopark, because he was building it for like the duration of 8 months. And
Damn.
Like, it's just so crazy how much, how it is with, EasyGrind, like how much work goes on behind the scene with the painting and the like putting the ramps together. It's just absolutely crazy. And it was just a humble experience to be able to do that, like something I always wanted to do when I started scootering, like, hey, imagine just helping out, building a skate park. And that was a dream, and yeah, it was sick. I made it work. And what was the question again? I'm sorry, I'm like completely going off topic.
No, you're all good. I was asking just what's the gist of like what's been your involvement with Volopark, and what do you think it's going to do for the Australian scooter scene?
All right, got it. All right, sorry, I'm just like lately.
No, you're all good.
I do apologize.
I love hearing you talk.
So my involvement is basically Maddie and I have been like best friends since 2010. So anything to help out his business is what I'm trying to do. Like being at the front, serving customers, being at the skate park, helping the kids, progress, or if they need help in learning tricks, or if they want to ride with someone, just like stuff like that. Just trying to be involved at the skate park. And also behind the scenes, with social media, try to help out with like photography work, or if he needs to do some like graphic design, etc. Just stuff like that. Any involvement to help him out, because like it's just him, Dylan, and I with basically with what I just said before, with the involvement of the skate park and social media. And the whole goal of this skate park is just to bring the community together, because right now, in Melbourne, it's just like no one's really motivated to ride. It's just been like, especially it's winter time here, so it's like really hard to go out and actually film content and go ride with the friends and that. And that's the whole goal with Volopark.
Why do you say it's hard to film in Melbourne in the winter? Is the weather really bad, or?
Yeah, it's just too cold in my opinion. Like, well, I mean, do you know Cam Lawrence? I think you met him when he went to Arizona before COVID.
I can't remember.
Anyways, he's like I live with him and Dylan.
Yeah.
And he's been like getting everyone together, filming amazing content. He's actually got a business called S2. Shout out to Cam Lawrence. And yeah, he's got I don't know what exactly camera he's got, but he's got a Panasonic HMX. Am I saying that correctly?
Panasonic
VX, the
HMC.
yeah, that's it. Hey,
Yeah.
HMC. Sorry if I butchered
Good.
the name. Yeah, he's got one of them. He recently just bought that, and he's just been absolutely love filming. So he's been like pulling content, making like nostalgic video parts, or just like little day edits or weekend edits, etc. He's been doing that. It's been really good. But like for me, it's just been hard to try to go out and ride. Like especially in winter, I get like really dry hands, and like it's just not like ideal for me to ride outside. So I try to be indoors,
Yeah.
until it gets warmer.
So
So basically, Volopark the goal is to, bring the community together, build a strong like scene with the next generation. Like already we've got like locals coming here like very often, like regularly, and it's just been really humble to see, to ride every time they come in. Like they always approach me like, hey, like you want to ride, or like how do you do this, etc. And like it's just good.
That's awesome. So are the ramps at Volopark? I noticed that it's not like normal skate parks, or at least normal in the sense of American skate parks, the skate parks I'm used to.
Yeah, not your standard all wood. There's actually a metal frame underneath it, similar to what I believe GC Compound did, or maybe only just on the half pipe. But yeah, so it's metal frames. It's not actually all wood, which is really cool. So basically, it's got a metal sheet underneath the wood, and then I believe it's like 2 layers. I don't know exactly because I wasn't there during the build. I was there when it was like already finished, and then basically I just helped out painting and sorting stuff out. So yeah, I believe it's 2 layers of wooden sheets, and then basically it's just to be much stronger, because you know how wood ramps are. Like a lot of people tend to put holes in it. With this, it's going to be less likely to happen.
So is there like a full? Is there like a full sheet of like sheet metal underneath the 2 plies of wood? Or is it like...
I am like 90% sure. I don't know exactly, but I'm like 90% sure. Yeah, it's all metal sheets underneath. Except for the big box, the one in the middle, which is I believe it's one of the biggest boxes in Australia, or like publicly.
Got you.
That's all wood. Yeah.
Okay. So you said that they took some ramps from Empire's old skate park. Did they also make some new ramps exclusively for Volopark, or is it just a rearrangement of old ramps?
So as I mentioned, the big box was entirely new.
That's entirely okay.
All wood. So in the middle, I'll explain the sections because it's actually a pretty big skate park. So as soon as you walk in, you got a L-shaped layout of the beginner section, and when you walk in, this section here is brand new. It's got a bank, a flat down rail, and then on the top, it's got a 3-foot quarter.
Yeah.
And then next to the rail is a stair set, and that's entirely new. And then next to it, when you go down the bank, you got the quarter. That's the previous ramp of Empire. Same as the section here, except for this section, which is like, so you got the Mallow half. Have you been to Empire? Did you go to Empire when you came to Australia?
I went to Bunker.
Sorry, Bunker, yeah.
Yeah.
So do you know the Mallow section? The Mallow half pipe?
Yeah, when you first walk in, there's like that really like...
And then the war...
Yeah.
Yeah, so that exists still. And that's like so fun. That's like personally my favorite like section out of the skate park. So that still exists, the Mallow. And then now it's like a box. So it's like a Mallow box for the kids to, learn how to do fly out tricks, but not fly out.
Yeah.
And then
I saw in your story you were teaching a kid how to backflip, and it was almost like it was a Spox. It was like a little spank. Yeah, that's sick. We were doing the same.
It's awesome. It's very forgiving. I love it.
Yeah, it's like it's really teaching
it.
It's teaching kids to just not ride fly out. we
Exactly.
did
That's
the exact
point.
same strategy at EasyGrind. Like there's this point where it was like this little
that's
fly out,
awesome.
and we
That's
made it
really
into a
good to
little
hear.
box. But anyway, continue.
That's sick. So this, sorry, I'm gonna try lay it out a lot faster. So this section's new. You got the kind of like a wall ride quarter, but not a wall ride, and then the quarter, they're new. And then the middle section's like basically the training facility or like the advanced section. You got the massive like roll-in, which is pretty steep, which like a lot of kids tend to be like, oh, have you dropped into that ramp? Like it's very nostalgic right now. That's awesome. And then you got the big box, which is I believe 10 feet, 9 feet. It's pretty big. And then you got the 2 quarters and then the more mellow landing quarter.
Mm-hmm.
Those were the previous runs of Empire for the Resi section. And then behind is exactly the same as it is at Empire, except it's a little bit more spaced out, so it's a lot easier to like flow around. In my opinion.
Because it was kind of congested at Empire a little bit. It was kind of close.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like there was a little like little minor issues with Empire, like with the like how the box kicked up and that. And Dan, who was the builder, who helped out building Volopark, he like fixed every little minor problem at the ramps, and it's just amazing. Like the 9 foot is like so smooth, it's like amazing. And then the box, it kicks you up a lot more now, which is awesome. The only new section is like this sub, so that's a new addition, the sub.
Okay.
But other than that, it's exactly the same as Empire's park section. So yeah, that's basically the 3 sections, and we have a foam pit, but it's currently closed. I believe we're gonna maybe potentially put a rock climbing section, which would be really cool. Something.
Hey, that's not a bad idea.
Unfortunately, I believe we can't open the foam pit, which sucks. But
is it because of COVID?
It is what it is. Yeah, because of COVID, and yeah. What about with EasyGrind? Did they? I know you guys like completely changed like the whole layout of EasyGrind.
Yeah, so like, EasyGrind was
incredible.
EasyGrind was an overhaul. We actually filmed the entire process. That's going to be a upcoming Undialed video. It's just I've been slacking on a little bit. So
same as here. We've made sorry to interrupt. We've made a progression video too. It's coming out soon. Hopefully, we just got to do some more B-rolls. But yeah, continue. Sorry.
Yeah, no. Dude, we just got this new camera, and it literally films a gigabyte a minute of footage, and I have just like hundreds of hours.
Whoa.
Like hundreds of hours, and like every time I try to do any little piece of it, it's just like my poor laptop is just like, you were trying to kill me. So it's gonna be a slow process. But anyway, the whole overhaul at EasyGrind Skatepark was insane because honestly, EasyGrind Skatepark was kind of I'm not even gonna say kind of, it was genuinely a bad skate park. And the reason I say that is because instead of being a flowing, in a sense, like an organism where you can go like from any piece of it, it was kind of just like 3 obstacles. And it was like, you want to go to this indoor facility to ride like 3 separate obstacles. But now, since the transformation, it's like you go there and it's like it's actually a skate park. Like you can flow the entire thing. And it was cool using the existing obstacles that they had there and filling in a really awkward space with like very functional obstacles that used the pre-existing obstacles, but then like added a whole new flavor to the park. And I think it's going to be really good for the kids because there's a lot of young riders in Arizona that have a ton of potential. And what was interesting is EasyGrind before was just kind of a skate park where they had these individual features instead of a whole skate park. So, but one of those features that was, it was pretty good and the kids got really good on it was the Resi. I'm sure you've seen a million clips at EasyGrind of like the white Resi. The white Resi,
yeah.
And
out of like all places, I've never seen a white Resi.
Me neither, right?
This is cool.
It's so funny. So basically, there was these kids, these insane EasyGrind shredder kids that would be killing it over the Resi, and then that's it. They wouldn't go anywhere with it because like they had nowhere to take it. It was like I guess they could go.
You know what's funny? Because right next to it is like exactly the same ramp,
Yeah.
wood, and like every time I see people hit the resi, I'm like, why don't they hit the other side? Like go try doing that ramp.
Yeah.
I was like, I just never never understood.
Some kids like hit the resi and then they fall onto the wood, or like, you know, like vice versa. They'll try to be like landing wood and then like carve into the. But anyway, so the goal was to like, all right, we need to take these kids that have these crazy tricks and we need to give them like the ability to flow a skate park, because like they could do the tricks, but they can't really like ride their scooter that well. Like they could pull the bangers, but they couldn't like land a trick with speed to carry to like another trick and then another trick, you know? And I feel like that's like a skill that doesn't get emphasized enough in scootering.
No, 100%. 100%.
And now, since the park flows so well, it's like these kids are really being tested, where it's like now they can take all those crazy bangers that they previously had and they can apply them to circumstances where they'll need speed for the next obstacle. And it's been really awesome watching these kids excel, and it's been really awesome just like watching the park like be reinvented. EasyGrind is back, baby. Like
that's amazing. That's the same as here too. Like we've got the like very similar situation where we've got upcoming riders who like I personally can see that they have a lot of potential, and it's just amazing to see like you as us, you know, OGs, or sorry, not OGs, older riders, to help guide them in help guide them, you know, to become a sensational rider. And as you said, being a flowy rider is definitely essential in my opinion. Same as Volopark, it's a lot more. There's so many like gaps and lines you can do now like compared to what it was before at Empire, and it's just amazing to see that there's just so much potential. And like same as that, like seeing EasyGrind from my point of view, it's like wow, like I cannot wait to go there. Seriously, you guys absolutely killed it.
You will love it, trust.
Yeah.
Hey, so I got a funny question about Empire, and I'm sure I'm not the only one wondering this. I'm sure this is a talked about thing you guys talk about. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm curious. Yeah. On that roll-in, there's some jacked rail that's like it like just goes straight into the ground. It's like on the roll.
Oh yeah, the roll-in. Yep.
Somebody had to have eyed up that rail, or am I wrong? Or is it just that gnarly?
Okay, it's pretty gnarly. Like it's like you, if you miss it, you're gone. Like you're gonna be dropping like. Anyways, there's actually someone on it, and I don't know if like he's mentioned it to anyone, or like this is what Dylan told me, but Jazzy Carter wants to hit it.
I knew it. I think everyone I'm just waiting for him to do it.
He hasn't been there since like he's been to Volopark once, but like during when it was like building, and I believe he hasn't really actually seen the rail. But he actually wants to come to Volopark and actually like iron out. So I hope he does it. It'd be sick. Like it's pretty scary. Like
no, I look at it look at it in pictures and I'm like, damn, that thing is steep. And then I could only imagine like, standing above it.
Steep. like I actually painted the rail, and like it's like nah, I would not do that. Stuff that. Or anyone. Just like if you do that, that's game over.
I was waiting for in your this is Scootering World edit. I was like, he's gonna hit it. He's gonna do like turn.
Oh no way! I like that's scared. Like I can't even comprehend it. Like you just gotta see it to believe it.
That's so funny. So tell me, we were talking about this as Scootering earlier. Tell me what did it mean to you to like represent Japan in this scooter video? Because I know I've seen a lot of content from you in the past about Japan and doing all sorts of adventures in Japan and always hanging out with Sago. Like, do you see potential in the Japanese scooter scene? And if so, tell me about like what you see.
100%, and not just that. I believe in Asia in general.
Yeah,
like,
tell me about the whole.
I actually recently followed this. I actually recently followed this scooter kid in Hong Kong, and I was like, "Who's this kid?" Like, because I haven't really heard much about the scene over there.
Yeah.
And then I was like watching his Instagram like videos, and I was like, "Wow, this kid has steez, bro!" And like, I don't know how long he's been riding, but he has steez, and like, he has a lot of like control on his scooter, and like, I truly believe he's got a lot of potential to be like the next, I don't know, like he's like quite a diverse rider. Like he's not just park, but he's also like street. He does like rails. He does some like really unique stuff. Like he did like a whip can. I was like, okay, never seen it. Some scooter kid do that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But speaking of Japan, yeah.
Or just Asia in general. Like
yeah, Asia in general. Yeah.
I feel like I feel like you more than most people in the scooter world are tapped into like the Asian scooter community just because you've spent hours there. You know what I mean? So I just want to hear about it from your perspective.
Yeah, so I try to go to Japan every year since 2015, which was the first time I ever went there, and like I just instantly fell in love as soon as I like landed. Like as soon as I got off the plane, like I just instantly fell in love with Japan, and like ever since then, like I just wanted to go there every year, and then I started doing hitch scooting there, like trying to keep going further and further until like my legs are no use. And Soga over there, he's been absolutely killing it with, you know, his brand JP, and then his Skatepark too. Depot Land. Yeah, Depot Land. Yeah, he's been absolutely killing it. Like there's this scooter rider who I hang out with a lot and like stay with. His name's Kenny. He's progressed so much since
I think I met
the
Kenny.
last time.
I think I met
Yeah,
Kenny.
when you went to Japan?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the tall one. He's tall now. He like when I first met him, he was like shoulder height to me, and now he's like taller than me and Soga and I. So it's like crazy.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, not just that. Like slowly, like there's more and more riders like appearing. Even like I know Soga has like a group chat he has online, and he told me there's like 100 riders on that group chat, which is unreal. Just in Japan.
Wow,
Just
really?
in Japan. And not just in Nagoya, which is where he's from, or Tokyo, around Japan, which is amazing.
Wow.
And yeah, it's just like really humble to see that not just Soga and I, like, because I don't know, there's not many Asian riders, I believe, out there in the scooter scene. And like to see that, like, slowly growing, like, and to see that the potential, it's like really amazing to see. And like, I've like want to be able to help out achieve that growth, you know.
Absolutely.
That's like right now, that's my goal, to be able to somehow my experience as a scooter rider to be able to help let the community know that in Asia there's a scene and it's got potential. So that's like basically my goal right now, to be able to try and grow that even more. But it's just quite hard, you know, because I don't live there, so like it's like
Yeah.
no way in me knowing like what's to go in there. So like eventually, you know, I mean, it's 2021. I don't know, in 4 years, that's my goal, to be able to move over there and then hopefully help grow. I mean, not just Japan too. As I mentioned, Hong Kong, Singapore. Singapore has a big scene too. I know Shafiq, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I apologize if I'm butchering it. He has actually a scooter shop in Singapore. He just recently opened it. It's called Odd Stash, I believe. He actually does like he hosts events, Singapore Street Jam. It's like a annual thing.
Okay.
I don't know if they did it last year because of COVID, but they've done it since 2016 every year. And myself, Max, and Juzzy went there in 2018. We went there, and like and wasn't Sean. Sorry, I forgot wasn't Sean went there too. And yeah, it was sick to see how many scooter riders there were, like just throwing down. And
absolutely,
it's just amazing.
I had the opportunity,
and not just that,
to go there right after you guys. That was interesting. Like it was like
I know. I wish I connected with you. Like, it would have been so sick to go on a trip with you.
Facts.
Especially in Japan. Like, you love Japan, yeah? It was sick.
I love Japan, man.
You had a good time?
Oh, absolutely. Like, the culture there is so great. The next thing I was
It's crazy, eh?
The next thing I was gonna ask you is like, what do you think are the critical next steps to getting that group chat to 200 people or 500 people or 1,000 people or 10,000 people? Like what do you think are like the next critical steps in growing the Japanese scene? Because in America, I feel like one reason scootering grows so much and it's escalating so high is because we have so many skate parks here, and we have so many, I guess, famous spots. It's kind of ingrained to our culture, like at least skateboarding and action sports is ingrained into our culture as so much to the point that there's now individual aspects of action sports. And I feel like over in Japan, maybe like action sports is kind of just like its own thing, like it's its own category instead of several categories. And maybe there's less skate parks there, but I want to like scootering is so great. Like I want to see it expanded. I know you've thought about this. Like, what do you think are the next steps like to growing the Japanese scooter scene and then the Asian scooter scene?
So, from what I've noticed, like over there in Asia, like, they definitely are inspired from like the Western side of like the iconic spots, the video parks, just like the skate parks in general. Like over there, I've noticed that recently they have been building more and more skate parks in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
I believe California's Concrete, is that right?
California skate parks.
Who made, I believe they've been helping out over there building skate parks. I know they did one recently in Hong Kong, which looks crazy. Like it's like to me it looks like Lake Havasu's the street section. So they built one there in Hong Kong, and I was like, whoa, I gotta go there. It looks sick.
Yeah.
So yeah, they've been recently getting more and more skate parks, which is really good. That's a good question. I haven't really honestly been thinking about it. Like hasn't been like the main front for me of thinking of that. Like it's definitely been, in my thoughts. Yeah. But ways to like help grow it is definitely more skate parks, which I truly believe after the Olympics, because you know how BMX and skateboarding is in the Olympics.
Yeah.
I truly believe like the government over there would be like, hey, this is an actual sport. Let's like put more funds into skate parks and let's start building more skate parks around Japan. Because like over there, like, I don't know, I feel like Japan, it's a very, like they consider like skate park as like, what's the word? Like it's, sorry, I don't know how to word this. It's like, they think it's like not proper. Wait, not proper? Sorry,
it's just out of the ordinary for them. Like it's not like an official sport.
It's not like it's not an official sport. Like it's not like a proper job, because over there, like they take their work and their jobs like very seriously. Like they work long hours. Like they are extremely hard workers. And like for a skate park, because it's like the sense of freedom and like to be able to be creative and like, be out there. It's like for them, it's just like, they're like, like, I don't know. It doesn't like appeal to them. But like, I think like the Olympics will be a big game changer for over there in Japan. Like in Hong Kong too, like I believe it was in 2018, they just changed the law where scooters are able to be able to ride skate parks legally. Because beforehand, like you weren't allowed to ride skate parks, like because of, I believe, like insurance issues, which was weird. I don't know. Like, isn't it the same thing over there in USA? Like there was like certain skate parks scooters weren't physically allowed to ride.
So that still is the case, unfortunately. Usually, what it comes down to is just a specific insurance of like that park, and it usually comes down to, like most things in this world, the opinion of the person working that day. And
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And most of the time he's a skater.
exactly. So there's parks where like the park rangers are skateboarders,
Yep.
and they'll selectively enforce the rules, like let's hypothetically, the head police chief comes to the skate park and sees a scooter rider. He probably won't kick him out, but he might tell somebody to enforce the helmet policy. But the park ranger is the other way around, where they will definitely kick out the scooter rider, but they may not necessarily enforce the helmet. You know what I mean? Like,
it was the same over in Japan. Like I remember trying to hit up what skate park was it? It was the one.
Was it the one in the mall? Was it the one in the mall on the roof?
Oh yeah, it's the one in the mall. Sorry, that's in Odaiba, which is like a man-made like island, which is really cool. Yeah, up in the mall, they would not let you ride it.
No,
like, they're like skateboard orientated.
That made same situation for me. They wouldn't let me ride it. I was pissed.
I was like, come on, let me ride it, please.
And scooter riders have ridden it. There's pictures of this.
Yeah, I know.
Damn it.
Yeah, just bad luck, like, yeah.
Just comes down to the person working that day.
The one in Yokohama, which is personally my favorite. Shin Yokohama. That one's amazing. But yeah, so to your question, so skate parks definitely a key factor. More video parts, like with this is Scootering, I truly believe that's going to be like a very helpful way for the scooter riders over there. Be like, hey, this is so cool to see, not just park but street too. Like I know, like Kenny, as I mentioned, he's slowly starting to diverse into the streets, like because he also rides bikes, which is really cool because he wants to reach out not just only scooters. But I've noticed that he's been riding street spots, which is really cool to see. And street spots in Japan, it's like they've been untouched, and there's so many good street spots over there. Like
there's so many of them.
I'm telling you, like I really want like a team like Epic maybe, or like someone to go over there and just make a video part there, because like there's just so much potential there. It's crazy.
Absolutely.
Like stuff like that. I truly believe like maybe like a company, like I know Weiss, sorry if I'm butchering the name. I know they recently did a trip over there and they made a video part, and that was amazing. I watched that. Wait, was it? Wait, it was a French company. I totally forgot the name of the company, but one of the French team went over there and it was amazing.
Damn.
I believe that should happen. Like just a scooter team just to go over there and like make a video part, just for them to be inspired. They're like, hey, I know where that is, so I'm gonna go over there and like ride it. Because like that was the same with us. For me it was Ramfest. Seeing like so many Ramfest clips and GC Compound too. Like seeing like the nostalgic clips on the half pipe and on the resi on the box. That made me want to go over there and like ride it myself.
Oh yeah.
So it's just like. Just stuff like that. I truly believe that would be very helpful.
Got you.
Yeah.
I feel like a way to enter into the Japanese culture with scootering in an organic way is I feel like we need to take the approach of like transportation scooters almost. Because like, I don't know if you noticed, but a lot of people in Japan use fold-up scooters. I even saw this one lady on a District Complete while I was there, which was so random. And
wait, what?
Yeah, she was.
No way. That's cool.
It was just like this older lady like carrying groceries, and it was just like, that's odd. And she was just like it was just a transportation scooter, and I feel like I personally want to see the Asian scooter community blow up. Like I feel like we need to have them as like a powerhouse in scootering. Like they need to have their own This Is Scootering video. They need to have their own team and worlds. They need to have like they got
100%.
And I feel like first off there needs to be a way to connect the community, the culture there to the craft. And I feel like the way that you connect the people to the craft is you solve a problem in their life with that thing. And I think that they are able to solve the problem of transportation over small distances with the scooter. And if we were able to like introduce if there was a scooter company in Japan, and maybe Sago can do this, if he could introduce like a really nice transportation scooter that could then open up people's minds to like also like doing tricks on it. And I feel like if the transportation scooter was also built in a way where you could do tricks on it, then like a kid might take their parents' transportation scooter and start just doing tricks on it just for the heck of it, and then that could start like a whole new generation of people. I feel like that's like the big advantage scootering has over other action sports, is the ease of transportation. And I feel like that's why scootering has so much potential in these Asian countries, is because there's so much more foot traffic there than in other parts of the world, like United States or Australia. So I feel
100%.
I feel like scooters could fill that void, and that's also an audience being made. I feel like it just needs to get approached.
I know in Japan, transportation is a big thing there. Like, you got the bullet trains, you got the amazing on-time schedule, like, trains and bus service, and they love riding their bikes, like, everywhere. Like, when I was over there for, like, 5 months, I was mostly riding my friend's bike just around around Tokyo, because it was so convenient. Like, transportation is such a big thing over there, and like I truly believe what you said like is 100% right. Like, I think Sogo should definitely try enforce that, because yes, scooters is just so much more easier, because you can just fold it up and just like take it on the train if needed. I know electric scooters is like booming right now, which is awesome, but it's a bit of a gray area with electric scooters, because like, you know, they go faster than your average bike. So like, do you need to get a license for it? You know, like, it's just a gray area. And
that is interesting.
How like, yeah, exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Funny how you mentioned about like you want to make a scooter that's foldable but like for tricks. As you mentioned, like Proto is on the game with that, with the 2-piece deck.
True.
I'm a big fan of that, and I hope in the future, I don't know, because I want to eventually start a business, and it'd be really cool to start making scooter products, but that's a long way ahead. That's one of my goals, you know, to make a 2-piece deck, because like, just a nostalgic, you know, I grew up riding a Razor Pro, you know, 2-piece deck, and to go full circle, you know, to be able to go full circle and make a 2-piece deck, it would be like a dream come true.
So what, besides from having a 2-piece deck, what area would you want to fill? What void would you want to fill in the scooter world with your brand that isn't being filled right now?
To be able to, like, what I would love to do is to share my culture, like as an Asian, to the scootering world, like the west side of the world, because like you got Ethic, you got Dissonance, you got Prime's a new upcoming scooter brand. They're French orientated culture, which is amazing. Mokoval, that's another one. I love that brand. Mokoval, they're high, strongly French culture. And then you got Aztec, which is based in Ohio. Is that right?
Yeah. Cleveland, Ohio.
You got Aztec, you got Outset, you got Undor, you know, you guys are strongly American culture, which is awesome, and I love that. And like, to be able to have that for the Asia scene, that's my goal. To be able to share the culture over there.
You want to be the person who encapsulates Asian culture, Japanese, and just a mixture of several cultures, and present that in a way that gets translated onto scooter parts that the rest of the world will be able to indulge in.
100%. That's my
sick, and we need that so much, Tommy. Seriously, like I feel like okay.
Hopefully that will happen.
One thing that I like, I remember doing is I think it was Undialed's one of our first collabs that we ever did was with JP Scooters, and we made that.
Oh really?
We made that crazy red, white, and black shirt with the tiger on the back. We had some, I forget what else we had, but it was a cool collab. And I remember the primary reason that I wanted to do a collab with JP Scooters is because I wanted to put Japanese print on some sort of clothing, mostly because aesthetically it looks cool. But I felt like, hey, like, I'm some white guy from America. I can't be like making some Japanese print and pretending like I know what it means or I have any root in that culture. I can't do that, right?
Hey, I'm the same thing. I'm still learning Japanese, hiragana and katakana. But you had a positive side of it.
Yeah. So
point of view of it, and I respect that. I back that. Like,
but I still wanted to do it. So I was like, okay, how could I do this?
Yeah.
How could I do this in a way that would like still be right? You know what I mean? Like that wouldn't seem off. So then I just did a collaboration with JP Scooters, and so that way I could have the cool Japanese print, but I knew it actually meant something because Songo translated it for me, and so it actually made sense. But it got me thinking, and that was one of Undialed's best selling shirts, right? That was one of Undialed's like coolest products, and it's one of the products that I get asked about the most. And really, I feel like the reason that people ask about like that shirt in particular is like that was a quick glimpse of something that doesn't really exist in scootering. And that thing that doesn't really exist in scootering is like comic book, anime, like aesthetic scooter merchandise, like scooter memorabilia. And I feel like that's just a huge void in scootering. And I know Richard's the link right now with his clothing brand. He has a little bit of Japanese print, and that's tight, you know, like respect to him.
I see that. It's really cool. I love it. But
I would love to like order some shit from Japan. And really have like no, this is some authentic stuff. You know what I mean? Like that's what would be really sick to me. And like, Tommy, you need to do that.
That's what I'm focusing right now. That's like my main objective, and just got to start the funds, you know, but baby steps, just got to keep going, you know, just keep going. And not like watching you and Clayton with Undialed, see how far you guys have become since I first, you know, met you and first met Clayton. It's really inspirational. So,
hey,
mad respect.
I appreciate that, man. Have you ever noticed in anime? Do you watch a lot of anime?
Like the mainstream ones, but yeah, I love anime. I'm a big fan.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't watch that much anime, but I remember Daniel Cardenas was showing me this one anime about these competitive volleyball players, right? And it was like,
oh, I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
And I was like, this is the most intense show about volleyball. I was like, then it got me thinking. I was like, dang, like if they could make this clenching show about volleyball, like
about volleyball.
Why can't they make a clenching show about scootering? And what if it was an anime? What if it was an anime?
Imagine that.
Where like,
wow.
Like, cause think about like a scooter could totally be a weapon in like an anime show. Like, could you imagine like the tweaked stuff somebody could do with that? Like,
that's actually a crazy idea. Yeah, imagine that.
And like that could be like such a unique way of like introducing scootering into the culture, and like, so. That would be so funny. That'd be the best show ever. I would love that show.
I've never thought of that. Thanks. Yeah, that's that's very insightful.
So that could be like a very organic way of like breaking the surface.
Oh, 100%. I know, like I've noticed like a lot of like people been watching Naruto. It's like a ninja anime.
Yeah.
Especially the French culture, like they love that show. Like I've noticed that because like every time I see like on Instagram like their display picture, it's always a Naruto reference, and I'm like, oh, okay, this guy likes fucking Naruto. I was like, oh, cool. But like, yeah, you know, like anime is like that's a big thing, honestly.
It is.
Like, imagine that in scootering.
That'd be like, you know, it'd be the most badass too. Is like is like if there was somebody that was able to like, I don't know, like create animes and like turn themselves into like a character that like kind of blends between like reality and fiction. Like if somebody could write themselves into these like fantasy situations, but they're also like a real person that's a badass on a scooter, that would be so cool. But I don't know, if that would take the perfect person.
Yeah, there's just so many like ways to introduce scootering into like other culture. Like video game would be unreal. You know, imagine a scooter video game.
Okay, I don't know if you've ever seen this in your life, but this was like a real thing. You ever seen the scooter arcade video game? I think it was made by Razer, or it was made by somebody.
I remember there was a PlayStation 1 game of that.
No. Like an arcade game. Like you would go into an arcade and they had like a scooter. Whoa. They had a scooter set up like, and they had these like little like roll bars next to like, okay, so it was like a fold up scooter with no wheels on it, like attached to the ground. And then on either side of the fold up, there was like these wheels, and you would stand on the scooter and like spin the wheels to like kick. And then like you could turn the bars like this, and it would like hit these sensors, and it would like you would do these tricks. It was crazy. What? And I remember the first time I ever played it, I was at this restaurant in Denver, Colorado called Casa Bonita, and they had it there, and I really thought that was beginning of something, because if there could be like a scooter video game, or even like a character in like a Mortal Kombat fighting game that used a scooter or something like that, that could be a game changer. We just need to get scootering on like more mediums. That's like what we need to do, is we need to make scooter
more of the mainstream, you know?
Yeah.
That's the goal right there. Definitely.
I feel like
in Australia, arcades aren't really that big, so I don't think I've ever seen that before. But that's crazy to hear. Like you can actually kick the like board, like a kickflip.
Yeah.
Is that?
I don't know. You would have to like just see a picture of like how weird this contraption.
I'm gonna Google it.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I actually have it pulled up.
Do you have it pulled up?
I wish I could show Tommy, but I have it on the screen for everyone.
Wait, I've got a double screen, so I can quickly look too. Let's see.
Yeah. So.
What do I type in?
Look up on YouTube Frenzy Express Scooter Arcade Game. And then it was Michael Jackson's favorite arcade game.
Was it actually?
Yeah.
What? No way.
Yeah. So
is it the first one?
I don't know if it's the first one, but it's in an arcade. Actually, we'll come look at this really quick.
Yeah, I'm gonna come look.
What the? That's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna click the first one.
Yeah, that's the one. See the wheels on the side of it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's literally the one.
That's so funny.
Whoa! Dude, that's sick.
Isn't that ridiculous?
No way. Yo, imagine you find that like on wait, over here it's called Craigslist. So like, what's like the secondhand like online shops over there called?
Yeah, just Craigslist or OfferUp or.
Yeah, you guys have Craigslist, yeah,
or Facebook Marketplace.
On Craigslist. Yeah, Facebook Marketplace. Yo, I'm gonna look one, and hopefully there's one in Australia.
How much do you think Michael Jackson's version of that cost? Like, he for sure had one in his house. Where is that machine?
100% in what's his thing? Wonderland.
Oh, was it? No, it's not Dreamland.
What?
His house?
Yeah, what was it called?
I have no idea.
Something Wonderland? I
don't know.
That's so funny though. So, what if Michael Jackson was not actually supposed to be a singer? He was deep down meant to be a scooter rider. And could you imagine that untapped potential? Like, he invented the moonwalk. Could you imagine like how that translated to the scooter?
Into scootering? Dang, that would be like.
Or if just.
I can't even comprehend that.
Or if Michael Jackson was like a current figure and he could like be a star but also be a scooter rider, that'd be funny.
Yeah. I mean, slowly there's like. Do you follow Harry Tate?
Yeah, Harry Tate's killing it.
Yeah, have you? dude, he's killing it. Like, he's in New York right now. Like, just that was just like an example, like just for me to like, like he was a scooterer, but now he's like, you know, a TikToker, mainstream. Like, he's like infusing the best of both worlds into, you know, their culture and our culture. It's like,
do you know what's so funny?
Imagine seeing more of that in scootering.
Oh, you know? Yeah. You know what's so funny about Harry Tate? Is like, there was like a period in time when I would like look at Harry Tate and I was like, I don't know. You just look kind of funny doing this. Like, I don't know. Like he
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
like I don't know how I feel about these videos. And then I remember like I met him, like, or I at least hung out with him for like a period of time. I went to Australia and I like hung out with him. Yeah. And after that, I was like, there's nobody better in this entire world to be doing these goofy videos than you. Like, yeah. and now I like watch his videos and it's just his hair. It's like, what's funny is he doesn't look that big in the videos, but like when you actually see him in person, he's like massive. And it's just like,
dude, he's tall.
It's so funny because he looks like a little kid in the videos. And then when you see him in person, he's like a man. And it's like, he's just like the perfect contrast. And his voice is like deep, but you wouldn't expect it unless you knew him.
Yeah.
But it's just his facial reactions, like, dude, he is cut out to do that. Like, I swear he is.
Oh yeah, dude, he's made for it. It's awesome to see. Like, the first time I met him was at Pro Series in Sydney, and like it was like when Rob came down, and he was with us, and like, yeah, just like did not expect him to be like that. I was like, wow, he's really tall and has a deep voice. Wow.
He's also just like a really good dude as well. Like
he's really nice. I like him. He was a really good person. Mm-hmm. Like genuine nice. Yeah.
Yeah. So so tell me, before you are, because you're in Australia now, and before you made it back to Australia, I'll leave it at that.
That was a long story. Yeah.
You definitely got chewed up and spit out by COVID.
So
tell me a little bit about that.
Did I see you at the Chino comp before COVID hit? I know I saw Clayton.
I was not there. I forget where I was, but no, Clayton was the only one there.
Okay, that was the last time I saw Clayton. So after the comp, that's when COVID hit. Like, oh yeah, there's going to be like restrictions, cases have rise, blah blah. That was like the start of the pandemic. And like at first I was just thinking, yeah, this is gonna like be, you know, like nah. So, and then it was like the end of March is when they were like, okay, we're canceling all flights, travel restriction, blah blah blah. And I was freaking out. I was like, oh my god, like should I go home or should I continue my trip? And I was at the time with Barzy, Max. Okay, just those two, I believe. Barzy got the next flight home, and then Max was in Arizona, but he got like straight away next flight home. But for me, I was just thinking,
yeah. Max was at my house.
I want to go to Japan. Yeah. That was when that happened, and my flight got cancelled to Japan, and I was like, that sucks. Like, I had to go to the airport to check on, because at the time, like, I had no idea what to do. Like, I was just thinking, okay, I got to go to LAX, go check in and see what's to go with my flight. They told me it was cancelled, and then I just had to book a flight straight away, and then I found one, like, a few days later, and then left, like, a day later. And then I went to Japan instead of going home, and then I ended up getting stuck there for 5 months because I originally had a flight home from there. So my flight schedule was USA, Japan, Europe for the Nitro World Games, and there was like another event, Feast, I think. I can't remember. And then back to Japan and then home. And then these 3 flights got cancelled. And then this eventually got cancelled, and then I just got stuck there. Like, I was just on limbo, and it was just crazy. Like,
you were in the UK for a while, weren't you?
Yeah, I was there as long as Japan. I was there for like 5 months. Like, it was crazy. So I was in Japan for 5 months, Europe for 3 months, and then UK for 5 months. And then America was a 1 month trip. So basically I was gone for like nearly 13 months when originally it was meant to be a 3 month trip. So yeah, it was scary at first. Like I was just shitting myself. Like, how am I gonna get home? I'm running out of money. Like it was just very stressful. But at the same time, it was a blessing because like I got to experience like just in Japan, got to stay in Japan much longer. Got to experience summertime there, which was like crazy. Like would not recommend. Like it's very humid over there, so summertime is not a great time over there. But other than that, spring, autumn, winter, amazing. And then UK, I was originally meant to go home in December because I had to leave Europe because my visa was ending. And during that time, I was with Ethic on tour with them, taking photos. And during that time, I was there for Dedean's video part, like Welcome to Ethic. Richard was at the time filming his Welcome to Ethic part, and then Barzi was filming too, but he had to go home early because he broke his ankle. And the original plan was I was meant to fly out with him, but he had to go home straight away because the hospital in Spain weren't going to help him. Like, I don't know why. They were like being really weird about it because he was a tourist. They're like, no, we can't help you. Like, there's nothing we can really do. You have to go home. So he had to get a last minute flight home. So I got stuck. And then I eventually went to UK because I wanted to try and finish my video part because I had nothing to do. So I went to the UK and then eventually got stuck there for 5 months.
Damn.
So yeah, that was my whole trip.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Where were you in the UK? Were you only in one spot or were you all around?
I was mainly at Corby and Peterborough. I was just lucky enough that my friend who's his friend let me stay there for like 4 months. Like originally I was only meant to stay there for 2 weeks, and then I got stuck and eventually stayed there for 4 months. So shout out to Josh Smith. Like big love to him for letting me stay there. Like it was just crazy to be fortunate enough to have friends over there, because it would have been very hard for me to like continue like, I don't know, staying in like hostels or just keep going around, because I didn't want to move because like we were at the time in a lockdown and like we were restricted to travel. So yeah, it was very awesome to be just in one place at the time.
Absolutely. You said you were in Corby. Did you have access to go to the skate park, or is the skate park shut?
Unfortunately, no, like when lockdown happened, but I was fortunate enough to ride it during December when lockdown was easing. Because like when I got there, they had like a little mini lockdown. It was like 3 weeks. And then December opened up because they wanted to, open up for Christmas. And I was fortunate enough to ride there and to be able to do the coaching on Wednesday. So I rode there for a month, and then lockdown happened again in January. And then it was only meant to be for a month, and then they extended it again, and then again, and then again. And then they just got out of it I think in June, like the start of the month. So that's like 6 months lockdown. How crazy is that?
That's nuts.
Was it hectic over there with the lockdowns?
Can I be completely honest with you? So I think me and Clayton honestly lucked out the hardest out of anyone during COVID. At that time, Clayton and I got trapped inside of a 3,300 square foot house with no real lockdowns to anywhere. Like
I was just about to say we weren't really stuck. We were just able to do it.
Like I'm saying, like we were stuck in this. Like we weren't even stuck. We were.
I'm the same. I was stuck overseas. Like I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Like and it was like none of the skate parks closed. None of the restaurants really closed. Like you just couldn't really go in there and sit. But you could always go in there and get food.
It was like takeaway only. Yeah.
Yeah, and like. It got interesting at one point because of the protests that were going on.
With the Black Lives Matter.
Exactly. So that was kind of unrelated from COVID, but I think at the same time it was kind of the result of COVID in a way. Like it was just the manifestation of people being stuck inside of their house for days on days on days on days, and then and then that just boiled over pre-existing emotions. And yeah, so there was definitely more lockdowns to do with the protests than there was with actually like the disease, you know, like with actually any COVID. So it's I don't know. No, in Arizona, no, there was no like any sort of lockdown. Like the only thing that sucked was you couldn't really go anywhere, and just
you were restricted.
I would say the worst part of COVID was just like people's outlook on like life. Like I think that was the biggest disease that was going around, is just like I saw so many people like mentally quitting, like oh no, there's this big disease, like, and it's just like, okay, like I get it, like we have to like be respectful for one another, but like think about it in like a positive attitude, you know, like
oh yeah,
no, we're not gonna die, okay, like and it was just the way the media the way the media rallied everyone's emotions up about like fear of dying and fear of like uncertainty and fear of like broken expectations of what the year was supposed to be, you know, and so many things that were factors in it, that I would say that was the hardest part of COVID, where I was at. Like I wasn't really restricted, but I was around people who were restricting themselves.
Like I get what you're saying. Yeah, it's like the energy, the surrounding is like negative.
It was interesting because I feel like I'm so blessed to be around action sport culture, and when I say that, it's like primarily I'm scootering, but by association I'm also around a lot of skateboarders and bikers just in my day-to-day life. And I feel like out of all the communities to be a part of, I would say that that scootering and skate parks was probably the best community to be with in COVID, because like ultimately when you went to a skate park, if you felt any sort of way about it, you would wear a mask and no one would say anything to you about it. And also if you didn't wear a mask, people didn't say anything about it, because we were all just doing our thing. But what's interesting is I heard, and I think Clayton might have told me this, that there's certain, like in the rock climbing community, there was people that got all rallied up about gyms secretly opening up, and there was like rock climbers like ratting on other rock climbers' gyms to close them down because they're not taking.
Actually, what's even crazier, it wasn't the indoor gyms, it was actually the outdoor, like the actual climbs themselves that got shut down.
Oh, it was it was the outdoor.
So like if anyone went to I don't know, say someone went to Yosemite, right, to do a climb, the whole community would get like super pissed off that they actually went out there and did it,
even though it was outside, and even though it was in a closed group. So I'm so glad that there wasn't like these pockets of scootering that were like yo, I see they're having a secret sesh at Woodward, time to go rat him out, you know, like or even worse beyond that, like, oh, no way he's hitting that handrail. That's a street spot. I'm going to rat on him. I'm gonna make an example out of him.
Oh my God.
He was being unsafe. Not to himself, but to other people. My gosh.
To other people.
Oh my God.
Dang, I was fortunate enough that lockdown, I didn't like hit lockdowns, because like in Japan, they didn't really care, but they still had lockdowns. In Europe, they really didn't care, but they were, you know, trying to enforce it. But when I hit UK, that's when I had to, that's when the lockdowns actually hit me. And it was just like mentally draining. And like, to be honest, I think COVID was the best thing that ever happened to me. Like being stuck overseas, like it just changed my whole perspective in life. And
well, this ain't your first rodeo either. I feel like you're the nomad of scootering. You're the one who's always traveling. I feel like before COVID, I was hearing about you scootering across Japan, you know, like
well, I think this trip was definitely an eye-opener, like, because like financially I wasn't making money. Like my financial was I'm gonna have enough money for 3 months and still extra. But then COVID hit, and then I was like, okay, I really need to like save my money, calculate like how much I need to spend, and then I eventually got up to, I would say, 8 to 9 months, and then I had to borrow money from my sister. Shout out to my sister. And then I was just fortunate enough that Ethic flew me out from Japan to Europe, and they provided me with like, you know, just the tour of life. Like, massive shout out to Surreal and Dissonance and KK for having me.
So are you affiliated with Ethic now?
No. I was just like, so originally I was there to film Will, and then Rudy eventually flew out of America to Europe, and then I ended up being the photographer. Like, because,
got you.
like,
okay, I know what you're saying.
They paid me to go over there, so I had to do something, and like I was just happy to, you know, provide the best service I can provide.
Is that when you went to like
and I got
Bilboa
a lot of good
and stuff?
flicks, so
is that when you went to like Bilboa and I know those other remote parts of Spain?
Mainly Spain. So we were in Prague for, I would say, a month. No, sorry, for a week, and then we went on a East Europe tour up to Poland, Latvia, Ljubljana, and Estonia, roommate's home country. Beautiful. And then back to Prague for like a month, and then Spain. Around Spain, we went to like Bilbao, Alicante, Madrid, and then there was one more place I can't remember, or maybe that was all of them. And then at the end, we went to Barcelona, and like Spain is like next level. Like, it's like the like spots. It's just like, wow. Like, I can't even comprehend like how that exists in the world. It's just wow.
Yeah.
Like, Spain is beautiful. I highly recommend, if anyone wants to do like a trip or wants to get filming done, go to Spain. Just around Spain, not just Barcelona, because that's always the place to go. Everyone just goes to Barcelona and just films. But like, you need to go around Spain because there's just full of spots.
There's so many spots just in Spain. Like, I remember when I went to Malaga. When I went to Malaga, Spain.
That's where I went to. That's it. Yeah, that's the other one I forgot to mention.
That place has so many spots, dude. Like, it's not even fair how many spots they have.
It's like, it's unfair. It's like how does this exist?
It's another Barcelona, and you're like, wait a second, wait a moment. Am I looking at like a real spot right now? Is this like, there's no way they didn't build this just to like ride. You know, it's a joke over there.
No way. Like, this has got to be a skate park, or like this has got to be fake, but like it's there, and like,
and even Malaga skate park is good.
Yeah, really good. I enjoyed that. It was a good skate park.
It was a really good skate park. Yeah. Dang. So tell me.
Yeah, that trip was amazing. I loved it.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, continue.
No, you're all good, man.
I was just gonna say the trip was amazing.
Do you have any upcoming trips planned in the future, or is it still kind of restricted in Australia because of COVID?
Very restricted. I think out of all countries that I've been to or experienced, Australia is the worst. I mean,
Australia is your least favorite country.
Sort of easy to get out. You just gotta have permission and like a reasoning why you're leaving.
Yeah.
But to get back, it's like a whole different story. Like, I had like 5 flights canceled on me. Like, it's that hard to, because they have a cap, so a certain amount of people can come to a certain amount of to states. So like, for example, Victoria, which is the worst, can only have like 1,000 per week. And like, just think about that. Like, that's around the world, and like, there's a lot of people, for example, stuck in India, Japan, and even like Europe in general. Like, there's a lot of people stuck, and like, to only allow 1,000 people per week, it's unreal. It's unheard of.
Damn. So damn, that's insane. So there's just like people who are Australian citizens just stuck in these other countries.
Stuck, exactly. It's like, not many people know it, but like, yeah, there's a lot of Australians, like, because I was in this like Facebook group, because like I wanted to be updated on like what's a good flight, what airline I should fly with, what I got to do to get out. And yeah, there's a lot of Aussies just stuck. It's really sad.
Dang, that's crazy. I couldn't imagine just being like stuck out of the United States right now. Like, fortunately, I feel like I've been blessed this whole COVID just being like a good spot. Like it was a breeze, honestly. But like, yeah, no, I couldn't imagine just being stuck in a country still like a year later.
Yeah, I was just blessed to have the scooter community back me, and it's just really humbled that I had always had a place to stay, so shout out to everyone who gave me a roof over my head.
Isn't that such a beautiful thing about the scooter community? I feel like it's like one of the only communities that gives you a worldwide network of people around the world who can like house you.
Oh yeah, I love it. That's why I travel so much.
Yeah, it's like, given you the opportunity to.
Yeah, it's like so worth it. And like speaking of like future trips, once lockdown eases, I don't know. I always want to go to Japan every year. It's definitely not going to happen this year because I just got more main things I want to focus on. But my main objective is to eventually go to Japan and ride around Japan for hopefully 4 to 5 months and hopefully reach 10,000 kilometers. That's going to be the main goal for my next trip or the trip after that.
Got you. So what is on the forefront right now? What is on the front burner for Thomasaurus Dang? What's on your mental right now? What are you trying to accomplish?
Just balancing writing, work, my project, like trying to help out with Volopark, like it's just really a surreal experience to be able to be here to help out Maddie and to be able to help out the locals who come here regularly. And then with riding, it's just been hard. Like I was just fortunate enough that I got the opportunity to ride during this Scootering, but I do wish I could have contributed a lot more, but it was just really hard to keep, with, my workflow and then helping out here and then riding too. And then, I'm still in the progress of finishing my video part. I just need to get 2 more clips, which it's been a mental battle. Just one trick that's been a mental battle. The other one is like, I think I can do it. I think I can't. I don't know. It's like a 50-50 right now. But this trick particular, like I've done it before, but it's just been a mental battle because I stuffed my ankle when I tried it at Corby. And then ever since then, it's just been like, why can't I do it why can't I do it right? Why can't I put my foot on? I don't know. You know how it is. Like, it's just a mental block. And I just got to conquer that and just send it, So hopefully, eventually, after winter, I'm going to try and go for it again. Or maybe like next week, I want to try and send it. We'll see.
So what's like your mental routine when you go for tricks like that? Like I feel like this is something that doesn't get really talked about in scootering is how to compose
that's a very good question.
How to compose your mind, or like what specifically do you think about? How do you get yourself to the point that you're like, all right, this moment in my life is going to be dedicated to this risky maneuver that is either going to result in extreme pleasure or extreme like reverse of pleasure. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I get what you mean. So like to me, I always overthink. Like that's my flaw with trying to film a clip, because me, I personally take quite a while to try to get a clip. I'm not like Rumed or
me
very
neither.
Consistent rider, or like Dylan Morrison. Like I'm not like, I'm not like them where I can get it first shot or fifth shot. Like it takes a while for me to get it, and like it's definitely mentally draining. But like all I do is just try and focus. Like, all right, I'm gonna land it. Like it's this one right here, this one right here. Like this one right here. And at the end of the day, I always think, if I land it, I'm gonna be so happy. If not, it's all good. I'm just gonna try again. But like, like just that feeling of like, what's the word? Denial. Is that the word? Denial?
Mm-hmm.
Of like, like just putting yourself down on it. But like I try as much as possible think positive about like, okay, like it wasn't your day. Just try it next time. You got it, man. And like in this trick right now, like I know I got it because I've done it 2 times already. So it's just the 3rd time's a charm, you know?
Yeah.
I just gotta land it.
Do you ever think of really negative things about yourself potentially, or about the situation when you're gearing up to do a scary scooter trick, or something that
all the time,
like
definitely,
like would you say that you go to places in your mind that you never really go to unless you're in those particular circumstances?
See, 100%. I always just like put myself down, like feel like I'm a useless person, and just like, oh, you don't deserve to land this trick, etc. But like I always try to overcome it, you know, like I just try focus. Yep.
Do you ever catch yourself in those circumstances where you almost are more scared of landing it than like not committing your foot? Like, I know this sounds silly, but it's just like, I feel like to really commit both feet, it's like you have to go to this like part of your mind that's really uncomfortable potentially. You know what I mean? And I feel like that commitment is something that you really have to like climb a wall in your mind and jump over it. Like, it's not just like,
yeah.
And it's like I'm trying to, because I struggle with the same thing you were talking about. I definitely put myself down when I'm scared to do a trick, or I definitely go to this very toxic space sometimes, not always, but sometimes. And I'm just trying to figure out like if kids struggle with that, what's the best way to get them out, you know? But I also feel like maybe those traumatic places, or those very worrying spots that you get placed in when you're trying those tricks, are actually like very, very, very crucial for self growth. You know what I mean? Like, they're like, that's the ultimate way that you like break walls in your mind. I don't know. It's fascinating.
I think it's just a balance, you know, because of course you're gonna like think about negative thoughts, like, oh, someone else can do it better, or someone else could easily get it, or like you're like, oh, like you're not gonna land it, etc. But like having that feeling, that should push you, you know, that you should see the positive side of that. That should be the drive where you're gonna overcome that fear, you're gonna overcome that self-doubtness. So to kids who have that, you know, that mindset, or like are scared to try new tricks, my advice is you just got to overcome it and just think about the positive side of it.
Yeah. Because
with negative, there's always going to be positive. With positive, there's always going to be a negative. It's just a balance of overcoming your trick or your fear, or just in general in life, in my opinion.
Yeah,
that's a great thing about scootering. You know, the things you learn in scootering, you can learn it into your life.
What I heard not too long ago was this. I heard this like neuroscientist talking about skateboarding, and basically they were talking about why skateboarding makes skateboarders more like potentially smarter people than the average person. And the reason they said it is because since you're always trying new tricks and you're always self-improving, and when you're trying these new tricks, you're actually scaring yourself, which is like connecting neurons that you wouldn't normally connect, learning something if you're not scared. And it's more like bonding connections, and because of that, those situations you put yourself in, it keeps your brain more elastic than somebody who doesn't practice those tricks on a more day-to-day basis. And that and that really got me thinking about just like those particular instances when you're like very, very, very scared to do tricks, and if like you are able to overcome them, then it's like you're molding your brain into a more strong and a more confident way that I feel like a lot of people wouldn't be able to experience
Oh
in
yeah, 100%.
other ways of life, because I feel like humans are just do not get pressured like that anymore. Like I feel like the fear was like a legitimate like feeling back in old human cultures, and I feel like it's just like in the modern culture, it's like we do everything we can to like avoid it or manipulate it, and it's just like, I don't know, it's interesting that like we still get to experience the raw sense of fear.
Yeah, I 100% agree. That's a crazy perspective way to see it, and like, yeah, for tricks, mentally, I'm like, I try to balance it.
Yeah.
It's more on the physical of like my body, can it handle it? That's another key factor too.
Yeah, it's...
Right now, like I can't even ride longer than an hour. It's just
why?
So, like, it's just crazy.
Why? Like, what starts hurting you?
I just start cramping. Like, I get really bad cramps. Like, I guess I just don't haven't. I'm not hydrated enough, or I don't eat enough salt, or like there's not enough iron like in my system. Something I definitely need to work on. I need to.
It's because you're vegan.
Eat better. yeah, that's right.
I'm just exposed.
I definitely need it
in 4K.
Yeah, definitely. Something I've been looking into, like working on my dietary. More stretching. That's something I've been doing lately, but like I haven't really been doing it properly, which I should be doing, because like it actually helps a lot, stretching. That's something I recommend to anyone who is like in the same situation as me. Stretch. Definitely stretch.
I have a roommate that may or may not be named, and I'm always telling him to stretch, and he's never listening to me. Like, I'm like, dude, you need to stretch. And he's just like, no, it's not important.
No, it definitely is. 100. I agree.
No, I'm just kidding. Clayton is the most overstretcher in the entire world. He is the most.
I see it on the Instagram. You've inspired me, Clayton.
I'll play around, boy.
Dang, that's Tommy Dang.
That's right.
So what you got planned for today? You said you're working at Volopark right now? Or you're...
Yeah, I'm actually opening up in half an hour, so
yeah.
It's 8:29 a.m. right now. As you can see, the sun is out. It's like when we started, it was probably like pitch black.
Yeah.
Like the sun's.
It's
crazy. Hey, what's the time over there?
It is 3:30 in the afternoon. It's really.
By the way, I just want to mention the room. Loving it. It's... Do you like it? Amazing. How's the new house, by the way? Yeah, it's so sick.
Hey,
so much nostalgic right there.
You're actually the first person to be on our new wave of podcasts. We did podcasts.
Thank you.
At the old house, and I think that went really well. Like I think it was cool. But this time, I feel like we have like a whole new setup. We got a new house. We got this beautiful setup. We're a little bit more dialed in technically. I definitely have like a new mindset and a new vision of what I want to accomplish over the course of these podcasts. Ultimately, that is uniting the scooter community so we can all be working together and we could all be vibing together. Because like, the most funny thing I found about scootering is whether you talk to the most extreme far end of the spectrum of scootering, which is the very, very niche street crews that are just very in their own ways. If you compare that side of the spectrum versus like the head up guys at ISA that call all the shots for all the park riders, like I would say that's the two farthest spectrums of scootering. And it's and it's like
far left, far right, 100%.
And it's like ultimately like we all want the same thing. We want scootering to grow. We want scootering to be cool. We want scootering to be something bigger and a community that people get accepted into, and a loving community and friendship. Like, we all want the same things, you know? It's just we're taking different strategies to get there. And I feel like if I'm able to unite more and more people through this podcast, then maybe we could all start just working together a little bit more. And I feel like that's like a crucial thing that needs to happen in scootering. But
I 100% back that, man. Major respect. I mean, that's the beauty about art, you know. Not everything is like, you know, we're not gonna all agree on the art, you know.
Yeah.
Like, creativity is what we do. We create, and we should, instead of hating, we should be appreciating. And what you're doing is amazing. I respect that. That's like, I back that.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I think creation is so important, you know, and I think that it's important that, like I said earlier, scootering on several mediums, you know what I mean? And I feel like it's important that scootering is able to be appreciated on just an audio format. And I feel like that's like because scootering is more of a visual sport, you know, it's because it's more of like a visual craft. It's like, how do you bring scootering to just a sound waves? And basically that turns into bringing identification to the people in the community. Because I still feel like I go to events and I still feel like I meet people and I'm like, you're this on Instagram, right? Instead of just being like, what up?
Nah, I'm the same. Like, I think I've seen you on Instagram. Like,
yeah,
is that you? Is that
like,
him? Yeah, I 100% agree.
And it's like all that, like, just to boil that down, we just got to boil that down into conversations. And it's like, then maybe hopefully we can start identifying each other, like, not through just Instagram names, because each one of us are so much bigger than that. And if we compare all of each other just to our Instagram names, it's like we're really just chopping each other down. You know, it's like you, like, if you only know somebody on Instagram, it's like you think you're better than them because your entire perception of them is just their handle. And then they think the same thing about you, you know? So it's just this, like, it just turns into this, like, weird standoff. I don't know. I want to unite scootering, but I appreciate your compliments about the background.
You guys are doing a good job. And like, I've listened to the previous podcast, and like, that's why when you ask me if I want to be on this, I was like, hell yeah, dude. Like, it would be such an experience to do that. So
well, I know.
Again, appreciate it.
I know we talked about it in the past, and
yeah, I know.
And it was like, I was like, I know how I'm gonna get Tommy. I just gotta, like, be like, are you want to do it today? Like, I needed to corner you. So I'm glad it worked out.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it worked out really well.
But hey, seriously, Tommy, thank you so much for coming on. I'm gonna wrap it up right here because I feel like we talked about some cool stuff over this. But seriously, thank you so much for the involvement that you do in scootering. You are an awesome guy. You bring so much to the table that so many other people in scootering have not brought to the table. You have created paths that a lot of people in scootering have never gone down, and you're the pioneer of those routes. I want you to keep doing your involvement with the Asian scooter community, and just keep doing Tommy Dang, because I'm here for the adventure of Tommy Dang, and I just want you to have a great rest of your day, man.
You're too kind, and yeah, that's literally the purpose of my life right now. So much appreciated. Same to you, man. You guys are absolutely killing it. So major